Hi, hello, how are you? This is Gustavo Hinojos, all the way from Canada. This is a welcome to the podcast Gustavo in Canada. And well, today I would say it's a different scenario. Yes, today I'm in the capital of Canada. I'm in Ottawa. So this time I'm on a trip. I would say it's a business trip, but it's a volunteer trip, right? So what happened right now is as a volunteer, one of the very important things that all Canadians are doing, and they should do as well, is work as a volunteer. So my volunteer work is basically with Scouts Canada. I work with kids from 5 to 7 years old. I'm what it's called a scouter. And well, what do? We have different activities. We have youth led activity, right? So we have different program sessions during the year. We gather every week, and there's many things very interesting to this. This is a worldwide program, right? So right now, what we're doing is after COVID, there was many people who stopped going outside and were in the need for more adventures. They were in the need to go out and learn and do many other stuff. Right now, I would say there's sometimes a lack of volunteers in order to get more kids involved in these type of activities. As a parent, when I got my kid into scouts, I saw there was the need for help. So I just jump in because as well I did have knowledge into the structure, into how to apply the program for these scouts, and also right now I'm feeling very happy that well after a couple of years now we have more kids. We're getting more volunteers enroll into this program, and well in my group, in my section, right? So but this what I came here to do today to this reunion is to pitch some ideas and to get ideas from other people in order for us to get more people involved. And that's very exciting. I'm very happy about it. This is wonderful. You know, I definitely want more people to get into these type of things because this is a non-formal education program where kids and even adults can learn a lot of things, a lot of skills for the daily life, right? Things that you can apply to your work. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Literally, it doesn't matter. You know, you're going to learn leadership. And leadership, it doesn't mean that you always are going to be in charge of things. Sometimes you have to follow someone else's leadership. And you're going to learn that as well. And it's not a bad thing, right? So many skills that you learn in Scouts, you apply for life. And you can tell because they were showing us just this interesting graphic about, just how people, after they're in Scouts, they become positive, they become kind to others, right? They become more empathic, right? So it's very interesting, those type of things. And going back to myself, right? So probably I have shared with you guys that last year it was a very great year for me, right? So why is that? Because well, I had a benefit that you can get here in Canada. I got a parental leave. So after you work for a while, you accumulate certain amount of hours, you can apply to for this parental leave, right? So I was working with my kids. I was taking care of my kids, and this was a blessing, right? So this benefit ended in December, January, right? So I started applying for jobs, like a lot. So now we're going to start talking about looking for a job, right? How does it feel? How does it translates into emotions, into different things, right? So looking for a job in Canada, looking for a job after COVID, looking for just what's the feeling, and what's the feedback from the companies, right? So as I was telling you, different levels of jobs or employments I've been applying for, because I do believe I do have the capacity of leadership. I do believe I do understand many things, and I'm willing to learn many things, right? So basically, yeah, it's sometimes it's heartbreaking that you apply for something and it doesn't goes your way, or how can I say, you start getting this emails, it's like, oh, thank you, we're going somewhere else, or you didn't go through the process, or thank you very much for, just applying. Keep looking in our just alerts, so you can keep applying, right? So that's very discouraging. That's hard to get in your mail, because every day you're looking for, just that, like, we're moving forward with you. We're looking forward to talk more about what you can bring to the company, right? So I have an example. I actually applied for a company, and I was very, very happy to apply for this company. So this was a position, a leadership position. It was very interesting. It was, uh, like probably a supervisor's position, right? And in the past, I already managed groups of 25, 5, 10 people, under my lead. And thankfully, I have a very low turnaround of people. I just managed, in order to motivate these people, in order to train them, and make sure that they have what they need, all the support, all the things that sometimes as a leader you lacked when you were growing, right? Uh, I've had different, very interesting type of leadership from bosses, just people who were very workaholic. The different personas that I encounter through the years are very interesting, right? So some people, they were very mentoring. Some people were just screaming on top of their lungs, just not managing or micromanaging in a way that nothing was really done, and they were not getting the results that were needed. So I had these boss once that, just once I was leaving at the time I was supposed to leave because I have a life, right? So I was leaving on time because I wanted to go to see my wife, my family. She was like, "What's going on? Where are you going?" Right? And I would say probably over a year or so, we never get our bonuses. Never. We probably didn't even know that we were allowed, or we were uh, able to get a bonus. As soon as this boss stepped out, we start getting another one. And she was like, "Oh, wow, guys, if you get bonuses, if your workers are doing the proper job and you're, coaching them properly, they're going to get bonuses. They're going to work better, and you're going to get a bonuses for whatever they're doing for their productivity." And that was translating to her getting a bonus. I would say it was not more than a month that we start all who work there getting our bonuses, like all. And we probably passed more than a year without getting any bonus. And we were always in fear of losing our job, and we were always stressed out. We were burnt out. It was horrible. But once you start getting the proper coaching, the proper leadership, everything start working fine. Everything start going smoothly. Everybody start working. Everybody was happier. We were even just doing this rotation where we actually were taking care of other teams, and we were able to have more free time for ourselves. So that was great. That was the type of leadership I was always looking for, and that's the type of leadership I actually tried to extend to my colleagues or the people who was working under my wing. I always try to promote them, to teach them and coach them. So, well, coming back, after a couple of years of experience in many fields, hotels, coffee shops. Uh, I was a tour guide for 5 years. I worked. I started working in agriculture. I went back to school, and that was a very interesting experience because I even have the chance to work with 40 different. How can I say? Foreign workers that most of them they didn't speak English. Most of them, some of them speak English, but I was able to teach them, coach them as well, and show them some skills as well, right? So, in order for them to know their rights and for them to know that they're able to say no or say yes, depending on the needs, right? But well, going back to me, sorry, I like to deviate in stories and talk about it. But yeah, now we're talking about looking for a job here in Canada, right? Of course, there's LinkedIn, there's Monster, there's many other things that you could look uh, for a job in here, right? And precisely, you have to adapt your CV or your resume every time, specifically for that company that you're applying to. So interesting, very interesting that nowadays I do understand that even though I thought having multilingual skills, I thought it was going to be an asset and it was going to be paid and it was going to be just, I thought I was going to get a benefit just for speaking different languages. It turns out, like in the tourism industry, it doesn't pay off as good as other stuff, right? So I applied to a company and I applied for 3 jobs, right? So the first job I applied, supervisor, leadership position, I just did have the experience, in order to fulfill that position. I was rejected and I was like, okay, so I bite the bullet and I was like, okay, let's go to the entry level and start from the bottom because I know I'm capable of climbing and start going up, 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 up. I apply for a second entry level job over there. And yeah, I got a interview with a robot. That was very interesting. Having a robot talking to me, just like writing down and stuff, and I was getting response from a computer, and he was a very nice AI. Afterwards, I had a one-to-one on Zoom with someone, and then I had another interview with someone else, and they were not in a rush. They were not in a rush of hiring. I was in a rush of getting a job. Was in a rush to get the money. So, well, as soon as we start talking salary, and as soon as I start asking, because with my credentials, with my knowledge, with my service level of experience, I was like, can we do some back and forth negotiation? Is it possible? Because where I live, so the difference between Vancouver and other areas in Canada, the price of livelihood is very expensive. So what they were offering was not really very livable in Vancouver. But again, I was willing to bite the bullet. But then there was a third entry job in that company, and it was paying more than double than they were offering. Just and I was like, wow, and there's no extra requirements. and there's no extra experience needed, and there's no extra, just show up and be able to do things, just to be physical. But we're gonna pay you more. So basically, I started the process, and it was faster, and it was quick, and it was like, well, yeah. So and then I did a medical. I was like, yeah, you're capable. So let's go. So everything started going very well. I was very happy, very excited. I was motivated. I was like, let's go for it. I had really good teammates over there. I started having connections over there. We started like 23 candidates, because I would say it was like one of those reality TV shows where you have like a big, it's like Big Brother. You have a bunch of people trying to get into a job, and even though you were officially hired, you were still on probation, because once you pass that tiny portion of testing and testing and testing and testing and testing and testing, well, you were still on probation. You still have 6 months of probation until, I don't know. But well, so after the first week, they cut that in half. We keep going, and eventually until the third week, we were around 12. But that Monday, 2 didn't show up, or something happened. And we were still having more testing, and I have to do a test, and I was under stress. And I was just, I was probably the last one to do the test, but everyone was telling me, like, yeah, we don't do that. And just, I was going to do that, but they tell me, like, don't do that. So I was so confused, right? So eventually what happened is that I did fail one of those tests they were, applying to me. I was very sad, very upset. But once, they start talking to me, it's like, what's happening, right? I was like, yeah, I know, it's obvious, it's so sad. I was like very, very frustrated. Very frustrated to a level that, I was very looking forward to that opportunity. I was very looking forward to be part of that team, right? So when I came back home, my wife was also very disappointed, and I have to switch my feelings. I have to change my sadness into looking after my wife, because she was very upset. You probably more than myself. And then I have to talk to her afterwards, probably a couple of days later, and explain her that it was devastating for me, because I thought I found something I wanted to do. Right? So but the thing is, you have to overcome. You have to start again. You have to look, in a sense of a way, you start to look for emergency jobs or other stuff that you can do, right? Because at the end, I do have kids, I do have family, I have these kids are wonderful. I love them. They're so brilliant, intelligent, and it's not because they're my kids, but they're crazy funny, and they're learning so much. And I came to Canada to make my dreams come true. So I do remember I was walking back home that day, and even though I knew, I was crushed. I was like, in my heart, I was like heartbroken. I was crushed. It's like, I would say when I was praying, I was like, you know what? I cannot give up. And I'm not going to give up. That's the thing. I'm not giving up. There's many things. And one of the big opportunities is one of these things. I'm here in Ottawa today. I flew here. I had a great conversation with a gentleman over there. I do bring a jacket. It's very interesting, the jacket I bring here to Ottawa. Special for the occasion, right? So my advice to anyone out there is like, don't give up. I know sometimes things can be tough. Just talk to your God, talk to your spirituality, talk to yourself. And just remember this is gonna pass. It's not that bad. It's probably there's something better for you. Probably there's another dream that's coming on its way. Just it's okay if you feel sad. Just cry or do whatever you need. Just it's okay. Remember, but get up, start again, and don't give up. Especially if you're coming to a place like Canada. Why are you here? That's one of the questions I've been getting today. It's like, why did you came to Canada, right? It's like, wow, just came to make many dreams come true, and even some dreams that I didn't know I had. Some dreams I either postponed or was not allowed to have. I don't know if that makes sense. Just I'm trying to pursue one of my childhood dreams and other dreams as well. And I want my wife to fulfill her dreams. She wants to do a master's, and I tell her that just if there's a path into her doing her master's, I'm up for that. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I also want to do a master's. And one of the dreams we already fulfill. First was coming to Canada and live here in Canada. My wife wanted to live in Quebec. She already did that, right? For whatever reason, we moved to Vancouver. Now we're in Vancouver. We're having just a good time over there. We're loving it, and I love to travel. I'm traveling today, so I'm very happy. Just very interesting. I took a flight. I got here 2 a.m. Then I have to get up 8 a.m. time, local time, but it was like 4 or 5 a.m. for me. So I'm very tired. For me, it's 7:35 p.m. time Vancouver, but basically it's 10:37 time here. So I would say it's time for me to go to bed. But anyhow, I just wanted to check in. I just want to say that looking for a job is tough, but it's not impossible. Don't give up. Something's going to show up. And yeah, I don't know. Just remember, just give me your comments. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share if you like it. And you can find me as Gustavo Hinojos or Gustavo Hinojos, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel Los Hinojos. LOSHINOJOS. So, people of the world, thank you very much for joining me tonight, all the way from the beautiful Ottawa, here in Canada, the capital of Canada, right? So yeah, thanks a lot, and yeah, please send me your comments, send me your, if you have an idea, if you want to talk, there's this guy I saw on Facebook or whatever. I want to talk to you guys, the one who review the commercials. I want to talk to you. It would be very interesting because you see the same video every time or different commercials. They're very funny. It's just, I would say, one of the people I do constantly see, either TikTok or whatever. But once he actually posted a different video, and I was like, wow, that's a crazy story. I want to talk to you. So yeah, that's going to be one of my challenge for this year, trying to talk to someone in English. So we're having a conversation. So with further ado, just remember, please subscribe, click everything. Have a good day, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are. Thank you so much. This is the podcast Gustavo in Canada. Bye.